Giants fans, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of New York Giants Rush, where we never have enough intro videos to show you guys each every week. This is the Rush Hour podcast now on Wednesdays for the first time. We know nobody likes Mondays, so we enjoy spending Hump Day with you. We are joined here by the crew. We got Belt Guy in the house. What's going on, Zane?
What's going on?
And then, of course, we got the queen of the show here. We got Nikki. What is going on, Nikki?
Thank you. I feel good, right? We didn't have to come on this week and talk about Eagles being a Super Bowl champion, so I feel good. But I could not stop laughing at the million intros that we have for you guys. So
wait, hold on. You're telling me Philly didn't win the Super Bowl?
They did not.
Zane, if you are waking up from an 8-day coma, you'd be very satisfied.
I could have swore it was a foregone conclusion that they had already won. I'm sorry. My bad.
Wait, are you talking about the Cowboys? Because I thought they already won. They were anointed, kings of the NFL.
Like August, they were anointed the champions of the league.
Yes.
Lord knows we didn't anoint the Giants champions of the league before the season. I mean, we're very happy they made the playoffs, but Christ almighty, we didn't do that.
No, we did not. But since we started the show talking about the Cowboys, let me ask you guys, did you see this tweet that CeeDee Lamb, he tweeted out that in order for Dak to take the next step, the Cowboys need to get more talent around him. Now, I tweeted out that I was told they had one of the most talented rosters in the league and that they were going to win the Super Bowl. And we're in July and, this is it. This is our year and we're stacked. This is all I heard. The Cowboys are stacked. So which is it? Are you stacked and you're winning the Super Bowl, or do you need more talent around Dak? I think at some point, don't you have to look at Dak because you got more talent than the Giants have. Our roster was like a band of misfits, kind of put together a little bit. So what do you guys think? I got killed for that, but I really just think it's crap because they had a very talented team.
Zane?
I mean, is more talent going to help Dak stop throwing pick sixes? Is that what's going to happen? Because that's not talent. That's throwing it to the other team. At this point, we keep being told how Dak's a top quarterback, which, I mean, I don't think he's trash. I know people kill him, but he's not. I think he is really good. But he has a ceiling, right? He's this good. He's not that good, right? And that's really the holdback. So how much more talent? They traded away Amari Cooper for you, CeeDee Lamb, who made this tweet, because you were the guy. They traded him because you were the guy. And they have Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard, who has a backup, is killing it, and still a respectably good offensive line.
Yes.
And their defense was second and third or something in sacks, right? They had a great defense as Dan Quinn is coming. So what are we talking about? You guys just can't get it done? What is it?
And quite honest, go ahead, Nikki. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, that's it. They just can't get it done, right?
I always feel like this with Dak. I mean, he has days where he's a phenomenal player, but he just has such a wide productivity bell curve where, I mean, when he's having a bad day, like he did against San Francisco, it's bad. They're not going anywhere. And those happen, I want to say 3 or 4 times a year with the guy. And so no matter how much talent you have, if you're just playing that poorly, it's not going to work. But let's face it, when it comes to the Cowboys, we've been talking about, I mean, talent's never been an issue with them. You go back the last 15 years, they've had plenty of talent. It's just colossal failures. It's like that all-star team that doesn't necessarily click. That's always what the Cowboys are. And this year was a perfect example of it.
I'll say 2 things. One, Mike McCarthy, thank you for still being there because you're not a good coach. He's part of the problem. And, second off, let me ask you both this. What's the difference between Dak Prescott and, say, Kirk Cousins? What's the difference?
Better primetime game for Dak Prescott than Kirk Cousins.
But that's what I'm saying. What's the real difference?
No, that's the thing.
Are they kind of the same thing? No? Have great regular season?
I think Kirk's more consistent. I think Kirk's a little bit more consistent, in my opinion, but his ceiling in any game is never as that high. So it's that's what I'm saying. The bell curve is thinner, but his average productivity is just lower. So,
I feel like they fall in the same tier when we're talking about winning that big game and getting to that big spot. They're kind of in that same tier where they'll get you to a spot, i.e., look, he'll constantly get to the playoff. The roster's good. But when it's time, it's just not time.
All All right. Speaking of winning, did you guys watch NFL Honors?
I saw bits and pieces.
Okay. I have an issue here with the Comeback Player of the Year award because I'm not quite sure what Geno Smith is coming back from. Like the bench, like what is he coming back from exactly? Like maybe we need to have most improved player because I'm not trying to be a homer here. I think Saquon got snubbed for that one.
I'll even go a step further. I think Nick Gates and Brian Robinson from the Commanders also got snubbed. He got shot, bro. He got shot and played a full season. Nick Gates had like 19 surgeries, almost lost a leg, and contributed heavily. So even Brandon Graham is coming off a torn ACL and had like 10 sacks and played an entire season, made it to the Super Bowl. There's other guys you can make a case for way before Geno Smith, in my opinion. But like Nikki said, the definition is, I think somebody let out the definition that there's some perseverance factor. So the fact that he just stuck around in the league and was able to become a de facto starter. By the way, he wasn't chosen. It was de facto. They got rid of Russell Wilson, and it was like, hey, man, it's kind of you now because we got nobody else. It's not like he won a job against somebody. He was given it. They didn't care. They're like, it's rebuilding anyway. It just kind of backfired for them where they're like, oh, this was better than we expected. So I'm with you.
That's all it was. It was a better than expected year, and that's his award.
All
better
it
than
is.
expected.
That falls under like most improved, but there's no. What do you, like Nikki said, we've all asked the same question. What are you coming back from? You can't come back from riding the pine. This would be different if 2 years ago he was a starter, he lost his job, became a backup, and then came back as a starter and went to a playoff. That's a comeback story, right? It's consistent. It happens. But you were a starter with the Jets, and then nothing for years, backup. You're a de facto starter, and you played well. I'm not knocking. You played really well. But not to be a comeback. You did not come back from anything.
You have to be good. You would have had to have already had a good season at one point to be a comeback player, and he never did.
Even recently, it could have been like I had a good season 5 years ago, and now I'm the comeback. Like, no, it has to be within the season or something.
Yes, that's the point.
But it was a bad call for I think multiple players. Saquon's in there. I think Gates is in there. I believe his name is Brian Robinson, the running back from the Commanders who got shot. I'll even give it up to Brandon Ingram, 33, 34 off a torn ACL, double-digit sacks. Like, these are impressive feats off of coming back from something. Whereas to me, for Geno, you got a chance and you played really well. I'm not knocking his play. I think he played very well. But again, what'd you come back from?
Yeah, the bench. You know, you beat out Drew Lock, so let's calm down over here.
Right?
I don't know.
Isn't Drew Lock also on his like second or third team?
Yes.
Broncos let him go second round pick. Like, I mean, come on.
Yes.
That's a bad call. I think it should be adjusted. Do a most improved player, or just make up a gift for everybody and just hey, great job, Geno. Way to persevere. Perseverance award. Call it the Geno Smith Award.
Perseverance Award.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah,
but at least Coach of the Year, they got that right. At least they got that right.
And I'm glad they did. I'm very, very glad. There was a few people who went out to bat and just said the same thing, that most people did. You did the most with the least. And that says a lot.
Thank God he didn't coach the Cowboys. They would have won the Super Bowl.
I
think get the Giants 9-7. I mean, God almighty, he could have gotten the Cowboys the championship.
I'll tell you, if he was coaching another team that was in the big game, they probably would have made adjustments.
Oh, they definitely would have made second half adjustments for sure. Before we get into that, all right, let's talk about the shit that nobody cares about, really. The commercials and the halftime show, right? So my favorite, oh my God, you hated every commercial.
The halftime show, Rihanna was killing it. No, I'm talking about the commercials.
All right. I mean, I know she was pregnant, Listen,
I didn't know that.
I'll clarify. I'm not the biggest Rihanna fan. Like, she's got some good bops that I'll put on when I'm, working out or something. But I mean, it certainly didn't top last year. We had
hard to top last year because last year had so much nostalgia involved in it and so many heavy hitters. Like, the one thing I wish she would have done is she had 2 opportunities to bring Jay-Z in there somehow, and he was in the stadium. Like, you could have been like, listen, Jay, give me 15 minutes. You're part of these big tracks. It would have been crazy. But I appreciate her solo set because she does have so many hits. So
for sure,
she did not open the umbrella. I know that was a big prop bet.
I was freaking out that she was just suspended in the air. I was like, are these people just floating? Is this safe? Like, you're just in the air for this long? I wouldn't have been
like a Mario video game, right? You're trying to jump up on platforms and whatnot.
Yeah,
I thought the halftime show was pretty good. I mean, I'm not gonna hate on it. I thought it was good. It could have been better. Could have used 1 or 2 cameos because she has those. Could have used 1 or 2 people to kind of
Yeah.
pop in. But the commercials, I'm out, man. I thought they were really just bad. I didn't like any of them really. None are
Really?
like, yeah, none stick with you. None stick with
All
me.
right.
Like,
Well,
oh,
the Duncan one stuck with me. I thought the Ben Affleck and J Lo Duncan one was funny, and people like weren't recognizing him. And then she's like, "Is this what you mean when you say you're going to work?" And he's working the drive-through. Maybe because I love Ben Affleck, but I thought that was one of the funnier ones. But that's it. You guys didn't like anything else?
no, I thought the Tubi commercial was the best because the way it got people. It really got people, and that
I was
really
freaking out.
yeah. That's what I liked about it.
I thought I sat on the remote. Mind you, my remote was like over here, so it was impossible for me to like actually physically sit on it.
My kids were yelling at me. They're like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Are you kidding me? You can't tell me the commercial."
Jesus Christ, Dad! What the hell? This is your fault.
Yeah.
The E-Trade baby was back though. You weren't happy to see the E-Trade baby?
It's cute, but again, not very memorable, right? I'm not gonna hold on to this commercial forever.
All right. What about the Doritos commercial? No. Okay.
Right. You know what's
the Michelob Ultra did a good one, right? The Caddyshack, the play on the Caddyshack, that was good.
The one that is the most confusing right now, and I don't get this one, is the M&Ms with Maya Rudolph. Does anybody understand that commercial? I don't get it.
No.
I don't get it, but I know that she was brought in because people were offended by the shoes.
Something happened with all the colored diversity M&Ms, so they were like, "We're gonna stop doing that," and Maya Rudolph's gonna be the sole spokesperson. But I don't understand it. I don't get the clam. I don't get it.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't get the clam thing. I thought it was a shoe thing. People were upset about the shoes and the diversity M&M. I'm not sure what's going on.
It just dye colors people. They're not actual. There's no green person. There's no blue person. It's just why does nobody kick up a fuss about Skittles? What's the problem here? They're just colorful food. Like there's no diversity Skittles.
That's what it was. I guess the green M&M, she used to wear heels and they put her in sneakers and somebody had I don't know. There's problems everywhere at the M&Ms. And so now we have Maya Rudolph talking about clam bites and
Let me ask the world this. How much inclusion is too much inclusion? I don't know.
I don't know.
I have no idea. But yeah, they brought in Maya Rudolph and I don't get it. I literally don't understand the whole thing with the clams and what I just don't get it. I'm so sorry. If somebody has a backstory or knows it, please
let us know, please.
I'm too lazy to Google it or too lazy to care about it, but that just confuses me.
Which one, Spartan?
Crown Royal. They had one about Canada, like all Canadians. I never thought about it. It's like, I didn't realize half those actors were from Canada. Okay. I kind of like it. I'm not going to drink Crown Royal, but it was a good commercial, I guess.
All right. I mean, so see, there was a couple, right? The Clueless one was cute. But Cher Horowitz, she's not shopping at Rakuten. I'll tell you that right now. So
yeah, I just think that's more we can connect to her probably by age, right? If you're like 18, 19, you're like, what the hell is this?
Who's Alicia Silverstone? What's Clueless?
Yeah. So that one, a little bit of nostalgia, but like I said, no one's dying over Rakuten.
No, definitely not. Spartan, are our guests backstage? They are.
Yes, we do. We got some guests in the house.
All right, you guys. It is time to introduce our extended family. We have Mal in the house. We have Eric from the Philly podcast, and we have Deb Whitcast with us as well. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hey, guys. All friends on here. So just a little backstory. I did a Super Bowl super show with TSS Fantasy on Sunday. I know Deb jumped on a little bit later. Eric was on my segment. So Eric, all of you are on there telling me you're so confident. You're not. I asked you about the Andy Reid factor. You guys were like calm, cool. We're not worried about it. What happened here?
Well, quite honestly, it was a fumble 6 that was the main factor of the game. That was one. Our defense, that was a monster all year, just really didn't show up. And then it was a holding call. I'll say that. I'll say it was a holding call. I thought it was bad timing for that holding call since it was the only one called during the game. I mean, that there is where I have a problem with the referees. it came down to, and I don't use the referees as an excuse, but that literally sealed the game right there and gave Andy the chance to run down the clock, which, if you ask me, that showed a lot of respect to Jalen Hurts because he didn't want him getting the ball back. So I can't blame Coach Reed for doing that. And yeah, people said that we got exposed. I was like, how did we get exposed? We had 35 points and lost by 3. How did we get exposed? That's so I wanted to ask people that, and everyone just says, oh, cupcake schedule. We lost by 3 in the Super Bowl to Patrick Mahomes. So, it was also, don't mind my door. That's just my dog walking in. There's no ghost here.
Right. I mean, you're getting dinner delivered or something.
Yeah. No, but I still felt confident. I felt great about the game. It was one of the greatest ones I've ever watched. And, even though we lost and went out with my head down low, I was happy. I was proud considering, where we were from the year before. And I was a Jalen Hurts hater last year, and I wanted him to, me and my co-host Chris, we were haters last year. We didn't believe in him. And we said over and over again on the show, prove us wrong. And he did. He did. He made us a believer.
All right. So you guys are happy with him to be your quarterback for the future, right? Going forward?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
Well,
Because you guys were awfully when I tell you guys confident, they were like, no, Nikki, we got that. They all went Eagles, which I expected, but just so confident, 100%. And I was like, that Andy Reid factor, I don't know. Now, Deb, I know you were there for like 2 weeks, right? Where you for the lead up, and then you were there covering. Like, can you take us through how this whole experience was?
It was crazy. I was actually at Pro Bowl before I went to Super Bowl, so I hit Vegas first. Got to interview Kirk Cousins, Tariq Hill. That was great. Marshawn Lynch. And then I, was there for the Pro Bowl and to see the football games and all the fun activities that they did, and then drove to Arizona. So I got to Arizona literally that Monday morning. I picked up my media credentials. And first thing I did was walk into Media Row, and it's always such a great time. Super Bowl is my favorite week of the year, every year. This is my 5th to be there. So it's my 3rd one covering it, though. The first 2 I just was there for. I was there for the Eagles in 2018 as a fan, and then became obsessed. And I was like, I want to do this. So and I've been working my way. So the Media Row, Radio Row was amazing. The energy was electric. FanDuel, Pat McAfee, CBS Sports, Fox Sports. Everyone in the sports world was there, and interviewing current NFL, former NFL coaches, people just walking around nonstop for an entire week, and then the events outside of the convention center as well. I went to Basket of Hope, which was Lorenzo Alexander, former NFL. It was really cool. They put together a couple hundred of baskets for area hospitals for children, in Phoenix hospitals. And there were several NFL players there as well as former NFL. What else? NFL alumni, Arizona did a great food bank. That's awesome. And then there was, and then the press. The press conferences were obviously amazing. Media day, opening night. You guys saw a little bit of it on TV. That was extremely electric. That was my very first media day because I've been covering the Super Bowl by virtual too. Like all the press conferences and stuff have been virtual the last 2 years. So this was my first in-person press conferences. So that was amazing too, also to be an Eagles fan and to be sitting there, talking to AJ Brown, talking to Kelsey and Cox and everybody. So that was an amazing experience. And I think I went to 3 or 4 pressers during the week. And then there were the parties.
Yeah, right. That's what we want to know about. The parties.
That's a whole other thing. We had, Sports Illustrated. I was on the red carpet for Ditka and Jaws, Cigars with the Stars. McNabb was there. Westbrook was there. Jaws obviously was there. That was fun. There were literally cigars everywhere. The place was like one big puff of smoke, which was an amazing cocktails, I have to say. And what else? Yeah, and then like Sports Illustrated, the Maxim Party, AC Caswell, former Raider, he had the $1 Million Mingle. It was on a rooftop, and it was an amazing view. And there was also like the culinary kickoff, which there was food everywhere, wines, whiskeys to sample. Literally the who's who of the sports world and celebrities were there all week. Wow. It was crazy.
That's amazing. You guys, we have to tell Craig to send us to the Super Bowl.
Right?
We don't care who's in it. Like, we're just gonna go and cover it. I think.
On his
snag his credit card next time you see him, and then he'll pop up on the Super Bowl and realize we're all sitting at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Book your hotels early.
Yes. Word to the wise.
Yep.
All right. So should we talk about the turf? Do you guys want to talk about the field?
It wasn't a turf, right? It was some synthetic grass, outgrown. I don't even know. They built this whole thing up, right? And maybe Deb can cover it more because she was physically there, and I'm sure it came up. But they built and grew this grass out, like this specific thing. I don't know if it was covered while you were there, but they actually showed them rolling it in and out every day so it got sunlight, and there was this whole thing. But it seems like it wasn't that great, was it?
Huh. You know what? That's the first time hearing about it. It didn't look anything different from the other turfs that I've seen.
They actually
on the field, to be honest.
They specifically grew this for this event, and I think it was like years in the making. I could be wrong, but it's like supposed to be a big deal. Where if you look, they actually have videos of them rolling it out of the stadium in the morning into the sunlight, and then rolling it back in to be in the stadium during nighttime to make sure they got the proper lighting. But I think the bigger issue was all the spray painting. That's what people were probably slipping over, with all the decals or the logos or whatever it was.
Eric, how many players changed cleats, right?
Oh man, at one point I think like most of the defensive players actually did at one point. There's a few videos going around where like Kazir White and Hassan Reddick are making their move and they just go down. Like their feet just go out from under them. It was, I mean, from what I've read on Twitter, some players were saying it was a terrible field to play on. But then a part of me was like, well, I didn't see Kansas City having issues, and I heard on the local radio today that they kind of had an inside track apparently that someone that they knew that had something to do with the field told them a day or two ahead of time to wear a certain kind of cleats, and that supposedly the Eagles weren't told about this until like right before halftime. And then I was like, well, if that's true, it's true. If not, to me, it's all hearsay. But it definitely seemed to play a factor for the Eagles defense.
So if you look at Nikki or Mike Rose running, if you look at Darius's comments in the comments, that's basically what I heard too about the field and how they've been actually growing this for 2 years, or it's been like 2 years in the making to make this field, if you will. So it was supposedly supposed to be a big deal, but it didn't look too pretty. It didn't look like it worked out too well.
I thought they were playing at MetLife. I mean,
luckily, I hope everyone's ACL is intact at the end of it.
It certainly felt like it was not an issue for the Chiefs, and it was more of an issue for the Eagles. That's just how it appeared. But I do think it was like a ton of spray paint. Particularly after halftime, right? Once the stage was on it was all hot and wet. I don't think that was helping either. Okay, we're past the first half. We get to the second half of the Super Bowl. I think the big criticism here is that the Eagles just did not seem to make second half adjustments. Deb, Eric, would you guys agree with that? What did you see, as we're going into the third quarter? Are you starting to get concerned at that point?
You can go ahead, Deb.
I think so. I even read, I think AJ Brown at one point even said that he got concerned around there as well. I read that, and he started to think that they might actually lose it. So yeah, I think and Eric said it earlier. Our defense just didn't show out, like they usually do, and that's pretty much why why we lost the game. And granted, the penalty did not help. We would have had an extra 90 seconds, and Jalen could have, worked his magic. He obviously tried in the last 8 seconds to throw that Hail Mary, didn't work.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I thought the game in general was, like Eric said as well, it was a good game. I was happy with it as well. I thought both offenses and defenses played. I just think our defense is better than what we played all year. So that's
Yeah.
I'd say your second half defense was more questionable than your first half. There were at least a little bit of pressure. The second half, there were two things that really, really stuck out. Besides Kansas City's O-line holding its own, I don't understand why you guys kept playing man. I didn't get that. Your covers are zone cover. They're zone corners. They're really good at it, right? Slay and Badbury, excellent at zone. Elite at zone, if you will. Why you guys kept playing man blew my mind. Both those touchdowns were because you were playing man coverage, and it just flopped. Had you played zone, I'm not saying the touchdown would have been scored, but it would have been a little bit harder. I think it would have been a little bit more difficult. I didn't understand that adjustment of why all of a sudden man came into play when I don't feel like that's your calling card on defense. And I could be wrong, but it just didn't seem like that was the best defensive way to go in the backfield.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, this is not at all what we've been used to seeing all season long, and it sucked for me watching it because it wasn't, like I just said, it wasn't what we saw all year long. It wasn't what we came to see from Gannon. Like there was things with him that he didn't have to do all year because they were able to get to the quarterbacks. They were able to get that penetration. So he just let them do their thing. And to really see him not make any adjustments and just lose it in the second half like that, and the tide just changed, was really concerning. And like here in local media, like local shows and everything, like the fans are just beyond like, thank God he's out of town. Let Arizona have him. He should have never got on the team plane. And I'm like, guys,
Wow.
chill out. Like this guy just gave you the greatest defensive
Philly's
season
rough,
in
man.
Eagles. You're right. I was like, he just gave you the greatest defensive season in Eagles history. It's like they had something like 36 sacks after week 7. That's unheard of. But in fairness, as much as I liked what he did this year, he definitely did not show up well against like good quarterbacks. So he did have a downfall to his scheme.
I will say that potentially, I don't know if maybe Kelsey was in the back of his mind not to play zone as much because he would have ate that middle. Maybe it was anybody but him type scenario. And I'll even go to what Snuffy said earlier. I would say that holding call on Bradbury should have been called in the second quarter too. It was the same exact call going to the right side that ended up in a Chiefs punt. It was the same DPI that didn't call. I would have appreciated if they called it at the same time as well. To his point, he's not wrong about that. If you call both of those a little bit more consistent, so he's not necessarily wrong about that aspect. But this is where, as being a former Giant and having Bradbury, why he was potentially let go. Man is not his thing. He gets grabby. The speed isn't there. He's very smart. He's very good. But zone is where he excels when it's in front of him. When it gets behind him, it's not his forte. So I think he was probably put in a bad position. And that goes back to Gannon, right? Where do you want to take your chances? Is it Kelsey? Is it going to be everybody else? And in this case, it was everybody else who ends up beating you, even though you took Kelsey away at that point.
Yeah, let's I want Mal to jump in here too. So I know Bradbury comes out and says, yeah, I was holding and I did it twice and I didn't think I was hoping they'd let it go, right? I mean, I just gave him a lot of respect for that. You owned up to it. You said you were holding. I mean, it got called. So Mal, what are your thoughts? My thoughts are, if you're watching the game, that's not the sole reason why the Eagles lost the game, but what are your thoughts on the holding call and Bradbury coming out and owning up to it?
So I mean, it was the right call in the end. It sucks for Eagles fans because it did come down to that in the moment. But knowing Bradbury, it was a really cool thing to see him come out and kind of be like, listen, I was in the wrong here. And it made me respect him even more. And I think with, Juju going at him and everything with the social media and the tweets and all the other players. It kind of does suck for him because he kind of knows that in his big moment, in the biggest game that of his career, that really did make the determining factor.
Yeah, it's tough. Social media is, and Mal and I are going to do a segment a little bit later. We're going to read mean tweets about ourselves because we've got a lot. But
Wow.
these players, they really come at each other, right? Like when we were growing up, like none of this was happening, and so now it's in real time, and they're just really coming at each other. Do you guys like that, Spartan? Do you like that where the players are just like going at each other nonstop on social media? You guys into it?
You know, it's like yes and no at the same time. Like part of me is like, you know, the
Entertaining.
trash talk on social media is immature, but I'm being a hypocrite because I feed right into it and I love it. Like seeing Juju tweet about you know, that Christmas card or whatever about Bradbury Holding and the whole catastrophe.
Valentine's Day card.
Yeah, he shouldn't have been. First of all, like Juju should not have been bragging. Like he didn't do anything at the Super Bowl anyway, really. So yeah, I do like it because then you hear some funny tweets. I do like to see some trash talk. Like it is entertaining to hear. Like if there's something that we feel about a player, seeing another player also agree about that, like other people calling out Juju for not showing up and really doing anything, but then talking a big game. Yeah, it provides entertainment, you know. But back in the day, you used to just talk trash on the field, which, you know, I'm sure was fun and that's more natural. But then the fans don't really get to see it.
Yeah, Deb, you don't like it, right? You're shaking your head.
Yeah,
now.
I mean, I agree too with Mike. Like I enjoy reading them sometimes. Like they are actually funny. But I think all in all, it's the NFL is the NFL, and everybody should support each other. And that's actually one thing Kirk Cousins said on the red carpet at the Pro Bowl. I was like, what are you most looking forward to? You know, with the Pro Bowl, and he said just meeting the other guys, like meeting the other players on the other teams, because we don't get to play with them. Like we play with our own team, we play against them, but they're all here with their families and we get to meet everybody, and that's cool. And I don't know, I just like everyone getting along, I guess.
Yeah, me too. Well, speaking of, all right, then what did you guys think when Dak comes out there for Man of the Year award? And I'm pretty sure he mouthed like effing Philly fans, because here they go booing him. So, I mean, you guys, yay, nay?
Well, first of all, hold on. That whole thing, people were like up in arms thinking that they were booing him for that award. No, they were booing Trash Prescott because that's exactly what he is as a player. They were booing him for being a Dallas Cowboy, not what award he was getting, because he absolutely deserved that award. It was a great award and a great honor to be bestowed. But people right away, like, there goes them Philly fans. There we go. You know, oh, no, there they go. Well, okay, they don't like him. He's a Dallas Cowboy. What do you expect?
Okay, would you have booed? So would it have been any NFC East rival, like if a Giant won it, or do you think they would have booed?
I think it's over a little bit because it's Dallas.
Yeah, it's definitely because it's
the worst for sure.
Okay, so Eagles fans hate Cowboys fans more or Giants fans more? Cowboys
I think
fans.
Dallas.
Okay.
Oh, it's Dallas because they suck, and they literally are just the most obnoxious in the world. You know, someone commented on one of our tweets, you know, saying, "Oh, well, you know, have fun playing catch up." I'm like, bro, I don't care about playing catch up. You care about people playing catch up. I said, I just care about winning. I said, and I feel more confident with my quarterback than you should about yours. I said, that's all there is to it.
Put it this way too, my uncle refuses to let my cousin date a Dallas fan.
Oh, wow.
He's such an Eagles fan. He's like, I don't care about color, like whatever.
Yeah.
Religion, I could care less. Do not date a Dallas fan.
I'm telling you, it's tough. So back in the day before I got married and everything, I did date an Eagles fan, and it just didn't work. It really just
why?
Yeah, Zane, it was pretty bad. It was not great. So then it comes out the Eagles. So you guys lost your offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, right? So I think last time that happened was what? 04 Patriots was probably the last time, I think.
I believe so.
94 Niners, I think, as well. So what's the sentiment around the team there, and like the fans? Happy? I mean, concerned? Like glad you guys are gone? What, you know? What's the thought process there?
I'm
Anybody
concerned,
else?
but I mean, it's like we almost won a Super Bowl and we had such an amazing season, and then all of a sudden, our OC and DC are gone. So,
Yeah.
a little bit concerning. I was, you're always hoping to have a repeat. We probably still could, we still can, but yeah, I'm a little concerned.
Eric, you concerned? Or are you going to give me this Sunday 100% confidence again? Okay.
No, there's always some concern. I mean, I know Gannon left here. He wasn't in the most favorable situation with the fan base. But I looked at it as, who are you going to get to come in here that's going to replicate what he just did?
Well, Eric, I think we can all agree that the best option for the Eagles next season is Jason Garrett as your offensive coordinator. But that's just my humble opinion.
Yes, do that. We're all in agreement of that. We like that.
I don't want the clapper. I don't want that guy. Yeah, no. Steichen is the one that I'm a little concerned, really concerned about. He had a good reputation, rapport with Jalen Hurts. He had anyone coming in really is going to have fun with that offense.
Yeah.
So it'll change a little bit because I don't think Miles Sanders will be back. It's a deep running back class coming out, so there might be a little bit different. But you have Hurts, Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert. So they're locked up.
Free agent? Am I wrong? I thought Goddard was a free agent, or no?
I don't know if he's a free agent.
Okay.
I think he's.
I'm not sure. I could be 100% wrong, so don't quote me, please.
I think he might have another year left.
Okay.
I think so, but on defense is where I'm a little concerned because you got a lot of guys that Bradbury's probably not going to be back. If they're going to re-sign anybody in that defense, it's going to be Gardner Johnson. They're going to have to hold on to him. They got him for a great price. They totally fleeced the Saints again, and so they'll put the money out for him. Probably going to lose Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham. So there's going to be some retooling on defense, but still, your main pieces will be there. But it's going to be tough to replicate what Gannon just did.
I forgot the other day who the names were, but I know you guys have 10 starters that are going to be free agents. That's a really large number, obviously.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
But on top of that, I think the bigger, not issue, of course, but the bigger contract is going to be Jalen Hurts is in his contract year, right? That's going to be big dollars. So is it going to be blank check? Is it going to be blank check Jalen Hurts, or what's it going to be? And I don't know, but I'm not surprised if he's touching 50 mil. I'm not surprised if he's going towards that number. Because the low side of the market is like 35, 40 is the low side. If you just came off a Super Bowl and you have that much confidence, 50 is not like asking for the stars here. 60 would be. So I wouldn't be surprised, but you guys are negative in the cap right now. So that's a tough maneuverability. I'm sure you'll maneuver, but it's gonna require some, tough decisions, as we say. Who do I keep? Who do I keep?
Yeah, definitely.
That's a lot of money, Deb. You don't seem to like that too much.
I mean, it's just a lot of money. he's worth every he's worth every penny, though. And I, like Eric said, I actually wasn't so sure about Hurts coming into the season. I knew he was a great athlete. A little worried about his arm, obviously, running quarterback. But I was at the very first game during the beginning of the season playing the Vikings, and what I saw on that field, I was like, this is the guy. So and obviously brought us to a Super Bowl, and now I think he's our franchise quarterbacks and worth every penny. So
while we're on this topic, let me just run off your free agents. I mean, you guys can all chime in how you feel, right? You got Fletcher Cox, you got Robert Quinn, you got Brandon Graham, you got Javon Hargrave, Jason Kelsey, James Bradbury, Isaac Seumalo. How do you say his name?
Seumalo.
Yeah.
Seumalo. Yep.
Probably just butchered it. I'm sorry.
With whatever, right? Kaiser White, TJ Edwards, Sue, Linville Joseph, Boston Scott, Zach Pascal, Miles Sanders, Rick Lavoto, Gardner Johnson, Tyree Jackson, Gardner Minshew, Marcus Epps.
Wow.
That's a lot of guys.
Hurt.
A lot.
That's a lot.
Some of those names are starters,
Can
contributing
Fletcher
big time
Cox just
starters.
please go already? Like,
I need
so
that guy
sick of
going
this guy
somewhere
in
else,
Philly,
please.
right now. Like, I'm just so tired of him, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty tired of Boston Scott too. So
Yeah,
if he
yeah,
could
yeah.
go, that'd be great.
You could go too. Mike, who do you want to go?
You
Like,
have to
let's
go.
just get rid of all of them, right?
Well, I just feel like they just one more.
FYI.
I mean, they only run Boston Scott against us to screw with the Giants at this point. Like, it's not like he had like 1 or 2 games where he really tore us up a few years ago. But like now, it's like when they get in the red zone, they just give them the ball just to piss us off, and it works.
I will literally cry if Brandon Graham and Jason Kelsey go. Like, I will be in a
They
puddle.
will. They might retire, or they're older, right?
Yeah.
So that's gonna be a tough one. They're older.
they were
You
in the
might get
last-
some
they were in-
retirement, but they're both about 35.
Mhm.
I was just saying to my co-host today, we also work together, and I looked at him and I said, dude, I'm not ready for Kelsey to retire. I said,
No.
I'm not ready for it. I said, I'm really not. I said, he's like the spirit animal of Philadelphia. I was like, I'm not ready for Jason Kelsey to go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
great
You're
moment
saying
with
he's-
him and his mom. Great
Yeah.
moment with
Awesome.
him and his mom.
His
on the
mom.
field.
Did you guys see her
Yeah.
outfit?
Yes.
It was amazing.
What do you do? So I mean, I don't have kids. I have nieces and nephews, but like that, how do you well, you just like hope either one of them wins, I guess, right? Or she had a
You know
favorite.
one is losing, so as a parent, you're gonna enjoy one side, but you have to console and bring up the other one too. So it's just one of those things, right? So it's a very tough position for a mom. But you saw the older
Very
brother
awkward
versus the younger
Thanksgiving.
brother dynamic too. You saw the
Thanksgiving.
sibling
Yeah.
dynamic too. Yeah.
I think she did a great job. I mean, she was out all week talking with press, and every question she mastered. And, you know, she loves both of her sons, and that was obvious. They obviously love her. She wore the half jerseys and made them both cookies for good luck.
Aww. Did you get to interview her, Deb?
I didn't, unfortunately, but you know, I had heard other people, you know, who had. So yeah, it was. She's a sweetheart. So, and you guys, I'm sure saw the, you know, on the field, her going up to, she went to Travis first, and then found Jason, and Jason was looking for her too, and then she's like, I love you, blah, blah, blah. It was just super sweet. And then he was like, go with Trav, go ahead. So, yeah, but at least one, you know, someone's got to win. So one of them
someone
was
has
going
to
to lose.
win. What a cool moment though for her, probably.
Mhm.
Like both her sons were, you know, playing in the Super Bowl. Deb, of everybody that you got to interview, did you have a favorite? Anyone stick out for you, or one that you were particularly excited for?
I have to say, I'm a huge AJ Brown fan, and interviewing him was super neat. And then when he, you know, made one of his touchdowns, literally I had a moment, and I was like, oh my god! Like I guess it was just a similar face he made, and it reminded me of when I was talking with him, and he made a certain face, and he did it again when he made the touchdown. I was like, oh my god! Like I talked to him. You know what I mean?
Yes,
So,
I get it. It's like
a little bit
when
of fan.
yeah, it's like you got to keep the fangirl in when you're pressed. I remember this summer when I was covering Giants training camp, and I got to meet Eli Manning. On inside, I'm freaking out. On the outside, I'm just like, oh hey, hi, like, you know, no big deal. But yeah, on the inside, you're like, oh my god. So
And I'm with all of them, I'm like, good luck. And all I wanted to say was fly, Eagles fly to all of them.
I hate that song. Can we all agree that the song is obnoxious?
It is obnoxious. But
Of course, we can all agree.
Definitely.
Even Philly fans can say there's better stuff out there than that. Like even they know it.
Oh, man.
I can't stand it. I can't stand it when they start chanting it at a Flyers game or a Phillies game. Like it just makes me so mad. I just sit there, I'm like, come on, guys, like seriously,
Time
like
and place. Time and place.
exactly.
Gosh, yeah, no, we don't want to have to hear that anymore. So before we let Deb and Eric, you want us to call you Snuffy? Eric, what do you like? What do you like?
Whatever you feel comfortable with, I'm good on.
Snuffy.
Right,
Okay.
you gotta go.
Before we
Snuffy.
let Deb and Snuffy go, does anybody have any burning questions about Philadelphia that you guys want to know as Giants fans?
No, I will say this. No offense, guys, but I mean, because you guys lost, I can sleep peacefully at night.
Yes, we all can.
But I'm sorry. I know it's devastating to have your team lose a Super Bowl.
It's cool.
I will say that I was a big fan of Jalen Hurts in college. I'm still a big fan of Jalen Hurts the individual,
Yes.
but I care for no franchise-based success for him.
I'm very jealous of how you guys manage your cap. God almighty, what I would do for that.
Yeah, I do like Jalen Hurts, but I think the most important thing that we have demonstrated is that Giants and Eagles fans can play nice. We can all get along and play in the sandbox. Thank you guys so much for coming on and spending.
And guys, real quick, I want to say one last thing that we can all agree on. F the Cowboys.
Yeah, we hate Dallas, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
FYI,
agree on that.
Actually, we can also agree on that. Nobody cares about the Commanders. Nobody cares about
Who?
Right.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hope to have you guys back on, as we go through training camp and off season and get some, division rival talk going. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much. See you guys
soon.
Have a good one,
guys. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Well, that was fun, right?
It was, but I don't know. I've been waiting to hear some of these tweets.
I know. So Mal and I were discussing that, you guys see that segment, right? Is it Saturday Night Live? It's one of those shows. I forget. I don't know. I don't stay up late.
Is it Jimmy Kimmel who did it? The mean tweet? Somebody did it. It's one of those night shows that did it. Or Conan O'Brien, somebody. I don't remember.
Yes. And so they do read the mean tweets that, you get about yourself, right? It's so funny. I think even Barack Obama's done it, right? So yes. I was getting hammered, and then, I see Mal just, tweeting and making sense like she normally does. And then she's getting killed, So Mal, do you want to start us off with a couple mean tweets about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So the first one that I'm going to bring back, because I find this one really funny, because it's actually not even relevant to the Giants in any way, shape, or form. So back when the Rams won the Super Bowl last year, I tweeted congratulating them. And mind you, I had no skin in the game for this game, really, besides the fact that I was rooting for Odell to get a ring. So all I had tweeted was congratulations to the not St. Louis, oh my God, LA Rams and OBJ for getting a ring. And some guy wrote back to me, "You should congratulate your mom that she didn't abort you." So that was one.
Jesus.
Yeah. And it came out of nowhere too. I didn't even know who the dude was. It was a Broncos fan. Why are you?
Fan?
Yeah, it wasn't even like it was anybody who was, relevant to the Giants or anything like that. So I thought that one was pretty funny.
Wow. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I can top that, but how about Nikki? You manipulate men into following you with your looks, and it isn't cool. Somebody has to speak out about this and put an end to her BS.
That was the recent one, right? That was the recent tweet, right?
Yeah, that was the one. That was
I'm only going recent. Or how about Nikki? You are a casual fan. Yes, you're a casual
fan.
I'm a casual fan. I don't know.
I get that one a lot.
You
are a stupid bitch.
Stupid bitch happens a lot. That one does happen a lot. I had some guy tell me, "You don't know football. Go back to the only place where you're respected, which is the kitchen."
Oh, the kitchen. Oh,
yeah, the kitchen I get a lot. And make a sandwich. That one is like a fan favorite for some people.
Go make a sandwich.
I feel like in 2023, there's no better female-based jokes than just the kitchen. We didn't come up with something funnier.
I know. I mean, that one's super old. I'm shocked that people are still on that.
It's like an 80s joke.
Yeah.
Go make a sandwich.
Get in the kitchen, woman.
I know. Get in the kitchen and make a sandwich. All right. Well, I'll give you guys one more because we should move on to something positive. I get it.
I want as much of this as we can get.
I want all the dirt from both of you.
Yeah, I need more of this.
Okay. Nikki, what is the point behind sending out a picture like this? Are you trying to get teenage boys to follow you so you can have more followers? Teenage boys. No.
Teenage boys.
I mean, maybe. Listen, sometimes when I go to the park and the track team is there, I've had an 18-year-old hit on me, so maybe.
We at New York Giants Rush are trying to target more younger demographics. We're not doing too great with that. So it can't have been true. No, there's no way.
Yeah, no, I know. Let me see this. This one was my favorite, actually. That I set the women's movement back for tweeting a picture out of me wearing what I wear all the time, a tank top.
You really can't help but laugh at these people.
Interesting.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, and then there was like lying ass whore bitch. That was probably my favorite. Yeah, because we
That
had to
wasn't
shove
very
it all in
creative,
there.
but he pulled
I
out
never-
the top liners.
Yeah, I never got calling women whores and sluts for like their football opinions. It just doesn't really make sense to me. I see it a lot. I even get it a lot too. Like randomly in my DMs, like you're a slut. Like why?
Like, what'd you
Yeah.
do? Like, say something mean about Jalen Hurts?
No, Daniel Jones. Like if you even talk about Daniel Jones in some way that people don't like, they come for you. Like this one, he said, "You play so fucking dumb to advocate for DJ. It's actually insane. I swear you have 0 brain cells."
God damn, these are DMs.
Well, no, this one was a Twitter.
I
This was a
mean,
comment.
If
This was
we're
a
being
comment, but-
honest, this is just like some douchebags trying to harass women. That's all it is, because I don't get any of the stuff in my DM, and we say very similar things.
Right.
We say
Yeah.
very similar things, and I don't get any of this. I get other things, but I don't get this. This is excessive. This is excessive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we just thought we'd give you guys like a small sample. And you know what's crazy, Mal? It's
Are, we
always
gonna,
men
are,
doing
me
it.
and, are me and Mike gonna pick a winner off of those?
Oh, I don't know. Go ahead. I didn't know it was like.
I already got the winner. It's the abortion thing. That was wild.
I know.
Yeah,
think
I was
Mal
going to
did
agree with
say-
that one.
That was the
was-
wildest one I've ever gotten. And like I said, that was like
rough.
over a
you-
year, almost a
can
year
you
ago at
guys-
this point.
Can you guys, like, on a weekly basis screenshot your favorite one of that week if you get them enough?
Yes.
I feel like that's good entertainment.
We'll have
Like,
a battle. We'll
Yeah.
have like a duel of
plus,
like which
at the
one
same
was
time, you
the,
can call out the douchebag who did
Yeah.
it. So it's like a
Yeah.
win-win for everybody. Just tag me so I can also harass that person.
yeah.
It's fun for me too.
I did. I posted them on my stories. Like I called them
Yeah,
out,
I
and then you
saw,
guys
I
all
saw.
jumped in.
You got your
And
back,
then-
Nikki. Do it. I mean, that one where
Oh,
the guys
yeah.
who should be posting this. I mean, it was like, I mean,
Yeah,
what,
that
all
one
of us and
guy-
all of our fans were in on that.
I don't even
Like,
know who asked that one guy. I was like, bro, just shut the fuck up and move on. Nobody
Yeah.
asked you. Like,
I mean, straight like vitriol coming for me, But I guess like I'm a menace to society, Mal. I guess we are. We're
Yeah.
sending
because you're
women
after all
back.
those teenage boys, so you watch
That's
yourself.
right.
Missy.
Yeah, no, I gotta watch myself. I don't wanna
You
be a
watch
cougar.
yourself, and your kitchen better be spotless.
Yeah.
The one you're getting.
The funny thing is, I can't even cook, so I don't know why they want me to be in the kitchen. That's the thing. Like,
I know, Mal. Your kitchen better be spotless. Better be sandwiches ready for
I
everybody.
know.
Gosh.
Honestly, for me and Mike's gender and race, we're so sorry. for this.
Agreed.
Not bad, man.
Nah, it's
That's
all right. You guys are good ones.
That's
Yeah,
terrible.
no, you guys are good. You always come to
try.
our.
Let this
I
be
mean, we need like a
lesson
male
for
intervention here. We need to like host an
everyone
episode with a
who
bunch of
does
men and
watch
just
it.
kind of
Let
like
this
talk
be a
about
learning
like,
lesson.
better.
Just leave women alone, bro.
Yeah.
Leave
Yeah,
them-
can you guys? Yeah, stage an intervention, maybe. Just that's it's the crazy thing is that sometimes it's just our opinion, right? And then we're just getting killed for it. And I kind of expect it, but it just kind of goes overboard. But
It's kind of wild, right? In 2023, that women have to be casuals when it comes to sports or gaming or all these things. Oh, you have to be a cat. Nah, they're into it. What do you mean? They're into
Exactly.
it.
yeah. All right. Well, we got a few minutes left. Let's talk about a couple quarterbacks. So I tweeted out this morning or yesterday. I don't even know, actually. I've been up since 4. At some point, I tweeted out that asked everybody where we thought Derek Carr was going to go. I said he probably will end up maybe with the Saints. I feel like you could pick any team in the NFC South at this point and say he might go there. But I saw so many people jump in the thread and say the Jets. What do you guys think? Where would Derek Carr land? I could see him on the Jets because they are a young, talented team. But then I keep hearing they're going to make a play for Rodgers and he's sitting in the darkness and hopefully recording it so that we could see it. That would be amazing. So Rodgers, Carr, what do you guys think?
First of all, that room's going to get awfully smelly if he's just sitting there festering in the dark for a few days. I don't even want, I wouldn't even want to watch that for Aaron Rodgers. The number one odds right now for Derek Carr, based on Vegas, is the Carolina Panthers. And I think that there is a legitimate possibility there. Although if I were Derek Carr, I would prefer the Jets because they're a more set team. They had a very good defense last year. They have a lot of talent. They got to fill those gaps. If I were Derek Carr, no questions asked, go to New York, get in that media market, and go win some games.
What about those Tampa Bay Buccaneers who need a quarterback? They still have a pretty decent roster. Like Nikki said,
They're
the
number
NFC
2 right now with the odds.
The NFC South all really need quarterbacks. So, like Nikki said, Russian roulette, pick one and go make it happen almost.
What do you
Yeah,
think,
I think it's weird that he didn't wind up like going to visit the Panthers. So I do fully think that he might be a Saint next year. I agree with Mike's point though. Like if the best fit technically for him would be the Jets. That defense is great. Got young Garrett Wilson, who is only going to go up from here. Breece Hall will come back. And if they were to just, put Derek Carr in that position, I think he could actually get it done and maybe even bring them to the playoffs. But the Jets and their fans seem really, really set on Rodgers. Don't know why, but that's just what I see. I could see them really going all in for Rodgers if he doesn't retire. So I think that Carr might wind up being with the Saints.
Rodgers in New York. I wonder how that would play.
It would be great. I need it.
It would be great.
He's such a
You
douche.
need it? You need it in your life scene? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because I like to meet a rip douches like him. He's a tool.
Oh, he's
I
such
would love for
He
those
also,
quotes being present. Can you imagine those quotes not knocking in Green Bay but knocking here? Like,
Yeah, he also claims that he doesn't want attention and that he doesn't think that people care, but he loves attention. So
he's a
and he would
narcissist.
eat it
He's
up.
such a narcissist, man.
Mm-hmm. He
Well,
would eat it up.
teammates aren't really big fans of him, right? That's what I keep on hearing. Like they all were never really that fond of him.
There's a reason his family doesn't talk to him. It's him.
Yeah,
It's him.
they don't. Yeah, they don't
Yeah.
talk to him.
At first, when that came out, I was like, "Oh, poor guy. His family doesn't like him." And then 2 interviews later, I was like, "Oh, it's
Oh.
you."
Oh, that's
Oh, you are the problem, my friend. Look in the
Yeah,
makes
mirror.
it's his family.
Yeah,
It's
no,
his
he's a
family.
douche. So, well, you know
But-
what? A couple weeks ago, we sat here and Spartan, we ripped Tom Brady for like a minute and 30 seconds. So this week, it's Aaron
Even
Rodgers.
on his family life, Nikki. I mean, talk about mean tweets. I mean, we were ripping into his soul. Talk about his divorce. We don't typically talk about that here on New York Giants Rush.
I
But
know.
it was funny.
It was funny. And now he's replacing Greg Olson, right? You saw that?
Yeah, Greg Olson.
Yeah,
Like
he's getting demoted, right? His contract's getting lowered. He's
Mhm.
going to the B team. That's all messed up. Greg Olson, a Jersey guy. Shout out Greg Olson.
That's right.
I liked him in the booth. I thought he was pretty good.
So who do you think? Forget, what team? Is there any team that you would even upgrade and say, listen, if you slide Derek Carr, they take that next step. Forget just quarterback needy. Is there an upgrade even out there? Like, what about Washington? They need a quarterback.
They need a quarterback.
Washington needs a quarterback. Carr isn't a scrub by any means. It's not like the Raiders did him any justice with what was around him at all, to be honest with you. So I think he's got a handful of spots that he can go to.
Hey,
What's up,
can I just bring this comment? This is hilarious. I'm in a situation, and I just thought back to like the whole receptionist thing. Like Favre's 1 year in New York was literally just like the most embarrassing like donut hole in his life that you could possibly imagine.
And that's what I hope for. That's what I hope for if Rodgers comes in.
That's what you hope
Oh,
for.
that's what he's gonna do.
Yeah.
No, he does this shit every year though. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know if I'm coming back. Like I can't stand the guy. I really
And then he
can't.
flips it on the team. Oh, it's not me. What did they want? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
You're in the
Always
contract.
the
Shut up.
team. Yeah, it's always the team. And then come to find out, he says he makes all his decisions when he's tripping balls. So it's like, right? Who doesn't? Like, I guess so.
I don't know, maybe he should just go work at Joe Rogan's podcast full time. You can just go do that.
Just do that.
Sit there and
Host
smoke a
Jeopardy.
Dutch, got a man bun going.
Yeah. He looks like a
Yeah.
dirty homeless guy.
I will.
I'm telling you, that dark room's gonna get awfully stank.
Ugh,
doesn't
how long
know.
is he in the darkness for? Do we know?
4 days.
4 days.
Mhm.
Just tripping.
He looks
Probably
like a
3
guy who
hours
doesn't
where he's like, oh, wait a
bathe
second,
anyway,
probably
to be honest with you. It doesn't look like he showers on the regular to start with. So those 4 days
Yeah.
are probably musty as hell.
Oh,
man.
God.
All right, well,
Smells
Let's
like
close it out
mushrooms and
quickly.
hot ass.
yeah, it's gonna smell disgusting. So we'll close it out quickly with 2 Giants items here. Cager is back. Are you guys excited for that? I'm excited to see his growth
Totally.
here.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will say this because I don't expect the Giants to draft a tight end. As much as people keep wanting this Meyer kid and mock drafts and everything, we don't run 2 tight end sets. If we end up changing it, great. 60% 11 personnel, 25% 12 personnel. The reason for the 12 personnel is because you have to block to save for your life, and that's at 25%. Really and truly, Buffalo, Kansas City, us. Even Philly, similar offenses, single tight end. They don't run dual, so why would you want to overdraft Bellinger? Just block and let him go be himself. He's really good.
If I could look into a crystal ball and knew who's going to be the next Gronk or Kelsey, I'd say go for it. But the odds are he's probably just going to end up being like an Aiden Hutchinson. So no.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm off the whole we need to overdraft on Bellinger. Bellinger is really, really good in my opinion.
Yeah.
Not because we interviewed him before I get that crap. He's actually good. Go look at tape.
A great
He's
blocking
actually
tight
really
end, too.
good. He's
Wow.
really
Yeah.
good. So if you can actually let people block where he doesn't have to sit and block all the time, you think he can't beat a linebacker? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I stand with Daniel Bellinger. I'm a huge Bellinger fan. I love the fact that Kelsey came out and actually gave him a nice compliment because I really do think he's going to break out either next year or the year after. And I think re-signing Cager gives us that depth that we need. I think Cager is very underrated, and he could wind up being really good for us.
100%. That's that switch up you bring in for those shallows. So Cage is really your poor man's version of Evan Ingram, more
Yeah.
or less, right?
Mhm.
Evan Ingram wants to come back too. All these guys want to come back to New York now. Isn't
They
that
miss it.
funny?
They miss it.
They miss
all,
it. But you know
they
who
miss-
is
They
back?
miss all the restaurants. They miss all the people. They miss the media. They miss that stuff,
They miss us. They miss New York Giants rush.
Yes, of course
Yeah.
they do.
obviously.
Oh, it looks like Wink and Kafka are back, right? Are we?
Yes.
breathe a
Thank
sigh of
God. Just
relief,
thank God we don't have to go through
Big
another
breath,
season.
big breath of relief. I can't remember the last time we had success and continuity, right?
Yes.
Both of those things. Because you take Philly as an example, right? All of a sudden, things are starting to go this way. And of course, you can replace, but it's not always the same. We've seen that before. So I'm more than happy. Even year 2 of Kafka is going to be exciting. He was doing some things in year 1 that people were like, "Huh, I didn't know he was going to
With
be."
no
like-"
one.
Yeah.
Dude,
No
do you
wide
remember that year we
receiver.
moved on from Spagnuolo in 2009? I mean, how bad the hell whoever that defensive coordinator was, like,
Yeah.
ruined our defense. We gave up 40 points 5 times that season, which was
Sheridan.
an NFL record with
Bill Sheridan.
greatest
It
defensive
was whoever
players.
Bill
called. Whoever
Sheridan,
said
yeah.
that. Yep, good call. It was Sheridan.
Sheridan.
He was a
Bill
linebacker
Sheridan,
coach,
yeah.
right? They promoted the linebacker coach. It did not go well.
No.
That was horrible.
And then
Then
even knock
Fuel.
on wood, Perry Fuel, they won, but he wasn't exactly great. They had
He
good
wasn't Spags,
talent.
but he was okay. Like, it was
Yeah,
like he
yeah.
could manage better than Sheridan did.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, you never really know, but yeah, I'm just happy to have. Wink was my guy. That was the thing I was happiest about when Daves was hired. It was all about Wink. My prediction for them to win 10 games was solely based on everything I based it. I put my eggs in the Wink Martindale basket.
Mhm.
I'm happy to have him back. Get him a linebacker, one more cover corner, and we're ready to cook. Now we can cook a little bit on defense.
Mal, can we get a top 5 defense next year with a little bit of tweaks here and another year under Wink?
I think we could do it.
Yeah.
I think we could do it. I didn't realize with the graphic that you posted today that we were that close to those many like really good defenses.
Close.
And Wink did so well with the Ravens. I'm so glad that he brought it here. I'm also glad that we have Kafka back for, if we do get Daniel Jones to resign, he finally gets some continuity. I don't think he's gotten any of that over these past few years. So we gotta give him a shot there.
Let's hope that Daniel Jones gets wrapped up soon, right? That would be
Mhm.
nice, I would think. And then hopefully Saquon, we will see. But I'm not in the camp of overpaying for a running back. I will say that. I don't
Are you in the camp of overpaying your quarterback? Do you have a number? I don't know, right? This is just a question to people because people kill me. Just a question so everybody relax. Everyone's got some type of player value, right? Aaron Rodgers has his, Carr has his, Jones. Everybody's got a player value. One is market. That's going to drive a certain number, and then what you're worth, and those two usually have to marry.
Yeah.
What is your number? And we'll start with Mal, since she's our lovely guest here. What's your number that if it goes past a number, I can't re-sign Daniel Jones? Sorry, I just can't do it.
Yeah. If it goes, I think if it gets anywhere above the 35 to 40 range, we got to reevaluate.
Yeah.
I think
That's more than-
we
I
have.
think everyone should be in that boat. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
I think that we have way too many holes on the roster. I think we really need to focus on building up that offensive line. The success from both the Eagles and the Chiefs this year really came from their offensive line, protecting the quarterback. We have not been able to do that. Daniel Jones was sacked so many times this year. Almost one of the most. We just can't let that happen anymore if we want to, be contenders. We have to protect the quarterback. So I think that's really where we kind of have to really be all in. Of course, wide receiver. We need a cornerback.
We need a wide receiver.
Linebacker, desperately.
Yeah.
Linebacker.
Yep, linebacker desperately. But yeah, anything above that 35 to 40 million, I think we're gonna have problems.
And Zane, real quick, remember something. If the Giants say it's like, look, I mean, if Jones demands above 40, right, demands 45, and the Giants say, Zane, in order to make this offense better, we have to get a good receiver in here, right? So wouldn't you want to go cut back? And then if Daniel Jones says, no, I want the money, then you know what kind of player he is.
Deuces. I'm with Mal. She hit the numbers right where I am. 35 is ideal.
Yep.
Yep.
Right?
Yes,
Give
agreed.
him more guaranteed. I don't care about the average. If he wants a little bit more money, give him a little bit more guaranteed, whatever. But that should be the number. 40 is like my, I don't want to, but okay. I don't want to, but okay. If it's even a penny over 40, peace out, man. Because
40 million and 1 penny, you get on that. You know,
Yeah,
we'll send you in Indianapolis.
there's still
Mhm.
so much that you have to supplement
Yeah.
between draft and
Right.
free agency. And yes, we do have a lot of holes. We complained about that only if we had this, it could have been better. We need a lot of this. I said this the other day. I don't think there's one position group or position where you can say that you either have, yes, I have full depth, or I have a starter and that, right? It's either top heavy or it's nothing, right? So you got Dexter Lawrence, but nothing behind him. You got Kayvon and Aziz, nothing behind him. You have Adoree, nothing across from him, right? So there's still a lot of holes on there. So we're still missing a lot. I know people don't like the word or the term of we overachieved. We did better than people expected, right? I'll say it that way. We did better. The rookies played better. Everyone did better. So overachieving, fine. I thought we did fairly well than what the expectation was.
And we did fairly well tonight. We exceeded all of your expectations because we brought you Eagles fans. We brought you Mal. We brought you mean tweets. We covered the Super Bowl. We talked about commercials. We wrapped it up with the Giants. And that is, I don't know, Mike, what episode are we on? 8 of Rush Hour already? I don't know. Something.
7 or 8. We're on a roll here, Nikki.
We're doing pretty well. We hope you guys follow us on Wednesdays, of course. I think this night will stick. We'll see how it goes. Till next time, everyone. Have a good week.
Make sure you follow Mel. You see her at.
Follow Mal.
Follow Mal and like and subscribe, guys.